Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Logic Pro X tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to access Apple's Logic loops, how to manipulate them, save them as favourites, a few shortcut keys, and basically just guide you on your way to building music. Now if you're intermediate or advanced user of Logic, this tutorial will not be for you. This tutorial is aimed at beginners of Logic Pro X. So let's begin. So first things first, we want to open up the Apple Loop browser. There's two ways you can do this. You can either press O on your keyboard and that will open up the browser, or you can press the Apple Loop browser button, which is up here on the top right hand corner. Okay, so once you use either of those options, then all the loops will appear below. I'm just going to open this up a bit wider for you, just so you can see the loops a bit clearer. So first things first, as you can see, there's quite a lot of beats here, and loops, not just beats, sorry, in different instruments and things like that. Now what I would suggest you do is narrow your search down for what you're looking for, because otherwise you'll be here all day searching through all these beats and instrumentals. So what I would suggest is think about exactly what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a piano beat, then if you go up to the section here, you'll see piano. If you click on piano, then all the piano instruments will appear down here. And if you're looking for an acoustic type piano, then you can click on acoustic. So that again will narrow it down to a piano that's got an acoustic sound. And if you want it to sound a bit jazzy, you might want to select jazz. Then now you've got a piano, acoustic, jazz set of loops appearing. You've got a piano, acoustic, jazz set of loops appearing below. So let's just click on one for an example. So there are some examples there of some jazz, piano, acoustic sort of loops. Also, if you go to the right hand side here, you'll see that it details a number of beats that are in that instrumental. Also, this heart here represents if you want to save a specific loop as a favourite. All you have to do is tick the checkbox here associated with the loop that you like, and that will then be saved, and I'll show you where you can find it afterwards. And then you have tempo, which is the tempo of that track. Now don't let this put you off. For example, you might like a piano beat and think, oh my god, it's way too slow. You can increase the speed or decrease the tempo rather of that particular loop, and I'll show you how to do that later. Also, you can also adjust the keys, but the keys are already defined also here. So Apple are really great, I should say Logic is rather really great at detailing information about the specific loop that you may choose. So to reset your search, just go up to the top here and click on the reset button. Then that will reset all the loops, different loops and sounds that can appear in the window here. So I mentioned earlier about how you would view favourites if you say something is a favourite. So what you want to do is, for example, let's find just a track, this one maybe. So say you like that and you think, oh, I want to save that as a favourite. What you need to do is click on the checkbox here, as I mentioned earlier. Now that's gone into my favourites. Now to view that favourite, you just click on the heart twice, and now you'll see that that is now saved as a favourite. These are all my favourites here, by the way. Okay, so that's how you save all your favourite tracks. The next thing you want to do is maybe find a loop and drag it into the workspace. So let's just choose a specific loop maybe. So let's just choose that one. So at the moment it's saying the tempo is 80, but it's not, it's playing at 120 because Logic beats per minute is always set at 120. But watch when I drag in this loop. So say you want this loop, you just click on it and you drag it. And now you can see that it's appeared in the workspace. Now I'm just going to close the loop browser a minute by pressing O on the keypad. Now, as you can see the loop that you've just chosen. So I'm going to play it back. So that's set at 120 at the moment. So I'm just going to open up the loop browser again and just give you another example. If you so the emotional piano, the tempo is 80. So let's drag that in. And when you drag and click, it will automatically now actually set to 120. Don't know if you noticed that. Because the tempo up here is already set to 120. So what you can do is you can go to the window here and drag downwards and set it back to 80 if you want it to be set at 80. So just push it down. So that's what you can do with that, okay? So I'm just going to delete that track a minute. We're going to go back up to the delicate piano, okay? So the delicate piano was set to, as you can see, I'm just going to re-emphasize this, 80. If I play it here, it's playing at 80. That's it. So that's set at 80, but you might think, oh, it's a bit draggy and it's a bit slow. So as I said, just play it, go up here, push it upwards. So now you've made it faster. And another thing is you're thinking, oh, this loop is really short. I might want this loop throughout the whole entire song. So 2 quick ways to do this. Either you can just go hover at the top right hand corner and drag. That will loop it. And you can stop it to wherever you want. Or I'm just going to Command and Z that to show you another way of doing it. Or what you can do is if you go to the region section on the left hand side, make sure the track is highlighted here, and then you press either L as a shortcut key, it will loop it by itself, or you can actually click the checkbox next to loop and the loop will appear. So now you've just basically now adjusted the tempo and looped the track. So now if you wanted to add other elements to this track, you can do so. Now, another quick tip that I'd like to give you is to show you how to navigate throughout these loops. So if you wanted to move forward through the loops very quickly, you can just press full stop or period, I think they call it in America, on your keyboard, and that will navigate you through going forward through your track. And if you want to go backwards, you press comma, okay? And if you want to go back to the beginning of the track, you just press return, okay? And if you want to start playing the loop, you just press spacebar. So there's a few shortcut keys there for you. Now, if you are going to add more instruments, a good way of maybe not going for it, letting the track move while you listen to what other instruments were fit with that instrument is you can set up the cycle mode. Now, cycle mode is these 2 buttons here. So you can have a click on that and it cycle 4 beats here. Another option is you press C on the keyboard. So C to turn off the cycle mode and C to turn it on. And you can increase that cycle mode to wherever you like it to sit. So in this instance, we're just going to put it at 5 bars. So while it's playing that, what you can do is now start looking for other instruments that you think will suit that track. But before we get into that, I want to show you how you can actually amend the sound of that loop that you've just placed into your workspace in Logic. Now, if you just click on the song, on the region, obviously you can use different threshold down here and the piano release here, but that's not what I want to show you. I want to show you how you can change the actual sound. So if you press Y on your keypad, then the library will open. And if you make sure that you've got that track highlighted, as I said earlier, and this is a piano beat. So if you go into piano, you can now change the sound of that. So if you press play, all you're doing is selecting a different type of piano. So you can hear that sounds a bit different. Now, if I press grand piano and strings, listen to how that sounds when I press spacebar. And if you press piano and upright bass there, and then press spacebar again, that's quite a nice sound, isn't it? And again, you can also go back by going to the bottom of the region here and just sliding across to the left. And you could even choose guitar and change it to acoustic guitar sound. So now watch. Press spacebar. Again, you might think, oh, that sounds a bit tacky. Just make it a bit different and put a bit of synth in that as well. Quite noisy. And to obviously go back, you just Command Z and just go back to one that maybe you liked. Okay, so that's how you can manipulate the sounds. Just gone back to basics. That's how you can manipulate the sounds in Logic, and as I said, you can go through all of these and change the sounds of that particular loop now. So that's how you manipulate the sounds of loops in Logic. You can, the next step really from there is to start then adding EQs and compressors and things like that. I will show you that in the next tutorial because I think it'd be too much information overload in this part. So I'll probably split this tutorial into 2 parts. So the next thing I want to show you is how to add another track to that instrumental. So, or another loop rather. So I'm just going to close this window here quickly. And I'm going to close the library by pressing Y on the keypad. So we've got our sound here, and that's a piano. So you might think, I want some drums, or I want something else, or percussion or something with it. So let's go to percussion. So let's go to reset first. Let's go to percussion. And maybe you want a relaxed type of sound because the sound is quite relaxed. So press percussion relaxed and just play the song. And also click on a different percussion piece. So as you can see, I've added the Turkish Winter Brick 01 sound. I'm just going to extend the cycle mode a minute so you can hear it together. Now, as you can see, the loop hasn't gone up. This instrumental hasn't looped, so let's loop the loop by pressing L on the keypad, and now let's play that together. So that's another way that you can just drag in a track. Now, when you drag in another loop, you might think, oh, I like that loop, but I want another loop, but I don't want the other loop to play throughout the song like this one. So let's find another instrument that maybe can fit with this sound. So I'm just going to put it on to 5 bars. And while we do that, let's think about what we want to add to this. So we might want to add... just dragged in the funky strut shaker into this loop. I'm just going to loop it to about 10 because I want to show you something. So at the moment we got the funky shaker at the beginning of the track, which I won't particularly like it there, but let's play it. Now what you can do is just use sections of a loop and place them where you want on the track. So what I'm going to do with this one is just move this loop to maybe the 3rd beat. Now, and then I'm going to want to put it on the 5th, and then I'm going to miss out a beat and then put it on the next one. So how you do this, you press Option on your keyboard, click on the loop, drag it to where you want it to place, and then let go of the mouse and the keyboard at the same time. So it's Option, drag, basically. Let's do that again, Option and drag. You can, of course, copy by pressing Command and C, and then using the locator bar here to place where you want to place it, and press Command and V, and then it places it where you want it to go. But that's another way of copy and pasting parts of a track. So let's play this together now. Let's take off the cycle mode. So there you have it. So that's how you add 3 different loops to the workspace in Logic Pro X. I've shown you how to manipulate the sounds, how to copy and paste certain parts of loops into your workspace. In the next tutorial, I will show you more, in a lot more detail rather, how to manipulate the sounds and also adjust the EQs and how to pan the sounds left to right, make certain sounds lower than others and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed part 1, and I hope it's a good start for beginners to learn how to use Apple loops and how to manipulate them. And if you have any questions, by all means, just give me a shout. Thank you.